Hi, this is JilliBling of JilliBling.com, and today is new catalog day. So if you haven't received your occasions, well, I guess now they call it just the January through June through May mini catalog, but if you haven't received it, it is great, and let me know and I'll get one to you. So the projects that I'm going to share today are mostly about kind of new product. It started out as paper pumpkin, and I have to admit, this little bear, this paper pumpkin, it's not my favorite. So I'm changing it up a lot, so much that it became more of new product and not so much paper pumpkin. So the bear, yes, he is kind of cute, and I'll use him in the next week or so because I'm changing up the whole kit to something else. So the reason I say that is this project right here, which I do like. This paper used to be this card base, and I cut it up a lot, so I just have a little strip of it. That's all I'm using from Paper Pumpkin. So if you have any designer paper that you like, you could just substitute, instead of a card front, just put a little piece of designer paper there. So I'm going to flip through all of these. They're all variations on the same product. This one doesn't have any of the gold, what do they call this? Gold leafing? Gold leafing. But I was experimenting with that. So if you've been curious, watch the video because I'll show you a few tips on it, a few hits, as in, yeah, I love that, and a few, I'm not sure about this. So here is this card. Do you notice all the little bling off to the edge? And after making, if you take the 4 card bases, cut them in half, you can make 8 like this. Okay, gold leafing gone mad. What do you think? Look at all that. So the die is 2 separate dies, and I'll run the die through the Baby Boss in just a minute. So I pulled out a piece of scratch paper out of my salad paper bin just to try what does the die look like, and then since I had a die cut, how does this gold leafing stuff work? And that's really pretty. I like that one. But the die, it gives you 2 pieces. It's 2 different dies, and it cuts and textures the inside butterfly. Look at this. Let me hold it up. There, can you see that texturing on there? And then this piece is separate. So then I decided to do some gold leafing on the inside. This paper was supposed to fit in here, and I used this polymer stamp set. I don't like it at all. So that's when last night I said, okay, I've had enough of this project, and I just left it here because I was all frustrated. It is pretty, but it just doesn't work here. This does work. It's a little bit gaudy. I kind of like it. Oh, and then this embossing folder is, just a minute, I have it right here. Meadow Moments, and it has all these little butterflies in it. You can hardly tell. If you put it up right at the right angle, you can see them. And then on each of the butterflies, I did different embellishments. I've kind of gone crazy on this. All day long, that's all I've been doing. Oh, and as I said, I got frustrated with the inside, so most of these, they don't have insides yet. But the insides are going to be very simple because the outside is a little bit fancy. Okay, this is the very first one. So see, I have the 2 parts, and I have a dimensional separating them, and then I just use liquid glue to stick down the frame of the butterfly. And these are the gold, or the matted black, what do they call them? Matte black dots. Big ones, little ones. I wasn't sure what I thought about them. Still not quite sure when I'd use them. They kind of work here. And this gold, I took Versamark to my little butterfly, stuck my Versamark, pretend like this is open, into just the edges, into the Versamark. So now I have Versamark just on the edges. Then I stuck it into Heat and Stick. And you're like, what are you talking about? This is Heat and Stick powder. It's in the new catalog. And if you've been enjoying Stampin' Up! For many years or decades, you know what Heat and Stick is. Heat and Stick is this right here. What it is, I think of it as granulated glue. So if you use the Versamark, which makes the paper sticky, then when you put it into here, this powder sticks to wherever the Versamark was, and then you heat it. And then it becomes as tacky as can be. It's like glue. I'll show you that in just a minute too. Oh, and by the way, this stuff stinks. Not terrible where you shouldn't use it, but just some funky, not metallic, just chemical something smell. And when you heat it, it stinks even more. And now that I said that, I bet you're going to put your nose in it when you get your little container of it. It stinks. Okay, carry on. So these have the gold gilding just on the edges where I put the Versamark, dipped it in, and did the process. I thought, you know what, that's kind of artsy. I kind of like it. But when I came back in the morning, it was bordering on sloppy. I don't like sloppy. Okay, so then this one, no Versamark or gilding on the butterfly, but just on its little frame. And I like that better. And I think that that's what we should do today, if ever I get there. Just a minute. Okay. Came back from lunch. It's like I want to use these gold hoops. So this one is very different. There's no gilding on this one. The polka dotted tulle ribbon, gold ring, dimensional verse, and these this little circle, this was part of the paper pumpkin along with that paper. And then here I used, what are these sparkly gems? There's a circle. They have a name. Gold glitter enamel dots. This one came out good. I like this one. Okay. Okay. Here we're talking. This is more my style, and I like to do this today. A different way to use the gilding is tear and tape. Tape and tear. I put a strip right there, and I dipped that into the gold leaf, and then I kind of brushed off the excess. It's tidy. I like it. Nothing going on with the butterflies other than dimensionals and glue on the frame, liquid glue. And then I used some old rhinestones. And I tried to pick up the green here from the green there. Simple. Okay, this one, I really like this one. So I was thinking we could do something similar to this today, where we do the band using tear and tape, and then just on the little frame we do the gold gilding. So this is going to be the sample. Okay, long story. Now you know what you're in for. What am I going to do with that? I don't know. I don't know. Cute. Floating and Fluttering. This is a stamp set, primarily focusing on that. Oh, I want to show you the inside of one of them. I use these little dots. Not quite sure what they go to. I did, and we'll do that on the inside today too. I did Versamark, heat and stick powder, put it into the gilding. It's right here. Nice, huh? We'll do that. Okay, so let's get started. Oh, and these are the dies, fluttering dies. Right here is the butterfly that we'll be using in just a few minutes. Gilding, we'll be using that. And let me tell you a little something. You know what? I'll tell you about this in just a minute. Okay. Tear and tape sample. Let me make sure you could see that. Let's use this embossing folder. This one doesn't have an embossing folder on it. Well, that's okay. We could put it through Baby Boss. So, if you're a paper pumpkin person, you're going to be doing this. You can get out of a 2 1/8 by 11 sheet of paper, you can get 8 butterflies. So let's do one. I've done the other one, so let's do just this one right here. I threw away the papers, trying to be tidy. Get it done. Okay, so these two, it's going to sit right here, and they nest together. Look at that. And if ever you're doing this, make sure it's not kind of riding up on one part, rides up on another, because I've had them almost cut through this other one. If you're aware of it, it's no problem. But they fit perfectly together. You could get Baby Boss today, and because it is 60 bucks, you qualify for a celebration item. Let me make sure, can you see this? Yeah, you can see. Okay, getting them lined up. Can you see that? Yeah, you can. Okay, here it is. This is what this die does. 2 pieces, done with that. It's right on here. So, it has the frame, and then also the textured butterfly. And look how perfectly those fit together. Amazing Stampin' Up! You did good. Good work. Okay, this is going to be a learning process because I want to use this die, which I know will fit in here. And I'm supposed to know what pattern or what sandwich. Insert embossing folder hinge first. I wonder if it's this one. Oh, maybe I should skip this part. Insert embossing folder hinge first. They're different thicknesses. This is what 3D and this is standard, because it says right on here. Standard, embossing folder. Oh, maybe I don't need the cutting plates. Okay, getting confused here. Let me texture my white paper. Oh, that's not going to fit through here. Cancel Christmas. Okay. My paper was too wide to fit through on that, which is fine. It doesn't have to be textured. Just if you have these dies, use them. They're cute. Okay, so where were we? I'm going to start from the bottom and work my way up. Oh, this is the back of the card. So there was 2 pieces of this striped foiled, gold foiled. That was a card front. This was the card back. This is going to become my card inside. Just like in here. Yeah, using stuff. Okay, so fold the paper in half. And I have 2 different size whites. The smaller one is part of this for the inside. Okay, so this one, this is going to be put on to here. And I'm going to do it the same as this, so I'll put it at the top. And there it is. Oh, and you know what? I don't think I saved a you are on my mind, because we're making 8 cards using the paper base, and they only provided 6 circles. So on these over here, that's a circle, circle, right here. So I'm going to stamp it right on the card front. So let's hope I don't mess up. You're on my mind. Oh, and Paper Pumpkin provided me with rich raspberry, but I'm just going to use plain old black. There's enough fancy stuff going on over here. Well, this card is going to be different than that one because I couldn't stamp it on there. It wouldn't show up. Okay, and let's do some gilding. Okay, so this uses tear and tape. Anything sticky. You could even use liquid glue if you want. But I like the tear and tape because it's tidy. If I use glue, chances of me getting it equal, they're slim. Okay, so smush that down. Then I'm going to trim off the excess right here and over here. I noticed that I have a little bit of a gap right there. If that bugs you, use some liquid glue to fill that in. I think it'll be fine. Even if there is a little gap in it, I'm okay with that. Okay. Okay, you ready for this gilding business? And next we'll do gilding on the butterfly using the heat and stick. And I'm sure that there's smell-o-vision, you'll be able to smell it. So you know what I'm talking about. Okay, that's sticky. Gilding. Here's gilding. So normally you would open it up and put some on top of here. This stuff is crazy. First of all, I don't know if you could tell how light it is. But the stuff, like, don't breathe hard because it's going to fly everywhere. So you need a container. You need something probably bigger than your embossing powder container. I'm going to use this one. It probably would be better if it had higher sides. Okay, sticky foil. Oh, and when you're using your heat tool, don't blow it near your little box. Just saying. So, this is really nice. Look how big of a chunk that comes with. And it'll just stick right on there. Kind of fun, huh? Are you saying, oh my gosh, I have to get that? It's fun. It's something new. I think we need it in silver and copper and platinum and rose gold. Okay, you see it happening? Okay, and then it gets on your hands everywhere. And it sticks. Maybe I should use the embossing buddy, I don't know. Okay, so you can just take it and rub off what you can. But if you're like me, that's not good enough. We need something a little bit more. So I've been using the lid and a sponge. This sponge is now dedicated to gold leafing. So the sponge, I've used it for all the projects. It has just a little bit left on it. But just the texture from the sponge will dislodge any piece that isn't seriously stuck. Okay, there it is. Oh, I wonder about those new brushes. I've got those right over here. I'm not going to use them. It's 3 of them for $12. But I bet you those new brushes are kind of cool. You would think that it's just a big old sponge jobber. No, it's got like I'll show you. I'm going to say hairs, but that's the wrong word. Okay, look how nice and tidy that is. I like that. We'll do a little bit of the heat and stick. Yes. Okay, this goes way away. Okay, and those dauber thingies, I'll use these sometime. Blending brushes. There's 3 of them. They look kind of cool, huh? And they're kind of heavy. But look at this. Those are like little, let me put something dark. I was showing Ruby earlier today. Can you see how it's like, it's a brush? Look at that. Those are nice, and they're so soft. They're really soft. And they're sturdy too. There's a little bit of give here. So I opened them up, couldn't get it open, so I cut it. And then I thought, oh, where am I going to put them? So if I had to do it over again, I would not have cut this, because here's a Ziploc. Because if they're dirty, I wonder about cleaning. I don't know. I'm going to have to read up on that. But if they were dirty, look how nicely they would be dirty in here. Yeah, I kind of did a whoops. Anyhow, that probably would take off excess really good. But I don't know if I want to dedicate one of these to gold leafing. Oh, there's none hanging out in there. Okay. Onward, onward. So I'm going to put this on dimensionals. Okay, that part is done. You know what? While I'm thinking about it, I'm going to put this on the inside. And, oh, bad, bad, bad. It's white because that was the card base back. Sigh. I'm not going to take care of it right now. If ever you do that, pull out your adhesive remover. Remove your adhesive. You know what? This might not take me too long. And I think Stampin' Up! They stopped selling these in the catalog, but you could get them at any craft or art supply store. And it's worth it. It's worth it to have it because you could see that I'm getting this off. And if you happen to be one of those people that get adhesive on your scratch paper and then your scratch paper is invalid, doesn't work anymore, you really need one of these. And then if this thing gets really yucky, you can see I'm pulling off the balled up adhesive. You could take your scissors and just trim the rubber. I have a friend who uses hers all the time, and hers is just like that big. That's all that's left. But she's been using it for years. Well, I've used this one for years too. Maybe she has different adhesive. Okay, perfectly nice paper. Turn it over. Now, adhesive. Okay, so we'll stamp this in just a minute. But back onto the top, so this one has the 4 butterflies, and I want to do the outside edge in heat and stick and then into the gilding. So here are 4 flutterbys, nothing with that. So I'm just going to look for the rim, the outside edge piece. Okay, and it's going to go into Versamark. And I could push it, but my scissors will probably do a better job. And this pad might need to be re-inked. Maybe it needs more moisture to hold more of the heat and stick powder. So if you find that you're not, you know, I'm thinking this is really dry. If you're not getting enough Versamark on yours, it might need re-inking. Oh. All of my other Versamark pads are in the traveling boxes. So I'll have to make do with this. Later I'll pull out my re-inker and re-ink it. Okay. Heat and stick powder. And just like any embossing powder, it leaves granules behind. Therefore I have an extra paper. Okay. Just put it in here. Let me see. Does it look powdery? Oh yeah, look at that. Oh. Lots of powder. Can you see it? Okay, so it's just going to live in there for a minute. Okay, let's do the other 3. I go wash my bone folder with a wipe. Let it go for a bath in the powder. So when you do a die cut, you notice how there's always one side that's a little bit rounded down, and then the back side looks a little bit yucky. Make sure that you're putting the Versamark on the pretty side. Okay, last one. Okay, I'm going to set this off to the side because I need to clean that. Oh, and you know, on the inside of the card I want to do those little dots. I should do those too. Okay, those could just sit in the swimming pool. So my inside paper is right here. And in Paper Pumpkin, they gave us the words "Get Well Soon." So I'll use that right here at the top. Okay. So now down here at the bottom, I'm going to do all those little dots. And that is this stamp. And that's from Floating and Fluttering, this right here. So I will do that in Versamark. And then get this into the heat and stick powder. Because Versamark is clear, I have no idea if I'm overlapping. But I'm going to pretend like I planned it. Kind of have a gap, but that's okay. So let me see if you can see that. Yeah, you might be able to. I have a little gap right here. Okay, so now I'm going to use my heat tool to heat this. So when you heat this heat and stick powder, it heats really quick, and you don't want to keep your heat tool on it, otherwise the paper will get so hot it will drink up the material and then it will not be as sticky. So you just want to heat it until the powderiness goes away. You know what, I'll start with one of these. See it sticking? My fingers have Versamark all over them. And I'm okay with it not being 100% covered. It's kind of messy. But I'll show you a way to get a little bit more coverage, because see how much of that pink you could see through there? And it's not tacky. So I have I don't know if you're supposed to do this or not, but I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a minute. See, when I squeeze right there where there's no gilding, the heat and stick powder, it's not glue, it's not tacky. So I'm going to work on that in just a minute. It's everywhere. Okay, so back to this. So when I look at that, gilding all over me. So now that it's half done, I'm going to stick that half that I know is sticky right back into here. Now heat it again. Okay, so that has double the layer of sticky on it. It's sticky. It's sticky. My fingers are sticky. You know, I can put, where is that? Some more of this in. There's some like big chunks in here too. First of all, there's some big leaves in there. But then all of a sudden, there's like a whole bunch of, like, look at, can you see all that? Look at all those layers right there together. That's lots of stuff. It's kind of heavy. I'm sure they planned it. Oh, it's thick. This is a mess. Okay, so is it sticking better? I don't even know what side is up anymore. Okay, it's official. I'm a fan of glue and the heat and stick powder. Heat and stick powder is good if you want to put glitter all over something, if you're doing a snow scene. Yeah, I can see how it's kind of not sticking everywhere. And that's fine. For this project, I didn't want it to be 100% covered, but I kind of wish that it was sticking right there. Maybe it was my attempt to double dip it. No double dipping, especially in COVID. Yeah, I can see that's not sticky. Okay, maybe don't do the double dipping. Okay, going to get these two done. But the problem might be my Versamark pad doesn't have enough ink in it. Therefore, it's not holding enough powder. Look at those big leaves. Woohoo! Fun stuff. New stuff is always good. Oh, that side is better. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah, that didn't work so good. Don't double dip. A little bit on there is fine. That's the back side. I just don't want any big pieces hanging off of my butterfly frames. Don't want them sloppy. Excuse me. Okay, so there are my frames with a little bit of gilding on them. And fingers with lots of gilding on them. tabletop with lots of gilding on it. Tummy, lots of gilding on it. Oh, I didn't do this one. Hold on. I think I deserve for it to work out good. I've been a good girl. Come on. Push it down into there. Oop, I felt a little sticky there. Okay, it's pushed into place. I have a good feeling here. See, now that's turning out just fine. Okay, this is how it should be. Here's a good example of heat and stick powder and gilding. See how nice that turned out? Gilding falling everywhere. Go back to the big box. Boy, I hope the heater doesn't go on. Okay, so the inside is done. Yeah, that turned out good. I don't know. Okay, so let's do the butterflies in this pattern. You're on My Mind is here. So because the color in here is Blackberry Bliss and Rich Razzleberry, I'm going to try to kind of separate those two because they're a darker hue also. So I'll put them here and here. And then the lighter ones, this one doesn't have much gilding. That one could go right there. And I'm working with the outside piece just because the inside part of the butterfly is smaller. So for positioning, another reason to get the gilding off is if I were to try to put glue on the back here, and if it's full of gilding, that's a problem. Let's see. Liquid glue, and it doesn't have to be all the way stuck down. Just most of it, but putting these in place will let me know where to put the textured butterflies. So I'm going to start with the bottom one next to the top one, and then the remaining inside two can be somewhat centered in between these two anchor butterflies. Boy, there's a lot of gilding on the back. Nothing will stick to that. So Tony has decided that Tuesday is Takeout Tuesday. It used to be Taco Tuesday. Now it's Takeout Tuesday. So last week and yesterday he informed me, what is tomorrow? I said, tomorrow is Tuesday, the 5th, it's new catalog day. He says, well, something else. So then I said, it's NCIS Day. He goes, no, it's Takeout Tuesday. What do you want? I'm like, I don't know. I don't care. So he is going to some food truck he's been hearing about, and it's right near the bank, because he's going to go to the bank. And if that isn't open, he's going to get Thai. Both those sound good. I don't even know. The food truck has something to do with chicken. He loves chicken. This is very gold and sparkly. It's very pretty. Okay, there they are. Gilding all over the place. Okay, so next is put butterflies on. And I normally would put dimensionals on the back of the butterfly, set them in place. But because this is my 8th one, I have some hindsight. What works well, mini dimensionals on all the wings. Okay, and glue dots, 2 of them, on butterfly tummies. Tummy, tummy. That one didn't stick. 1, 2. Come on. So my next choice is what kind of embellishments, and I'm thinking the champagne rhinestones are kind of similar to gold, and I did them on one of the cards and it looks really good. Okay, so this is the rich raspberry. Oh, I had to take these off. Okay, rich raspberry, put the bottom on, push the glue dots in place, and then the rest of it will just go where it needs to go. Glue dots. Okay, so the gilding just on the frame, I'm liking it. All my other options, the earlier ones, whew, they're fancy. Maybe a little bit too fancy for me. Okay, so now just rhinestones. And I've used all these things. I've used gold hoops, black matte, these. If you haven't seen elegant faceted gems, they're so pretty. I did put them on one of the cards, but I'm not going to use those this time. Gilded gems, glitter gold enamel. Here we go. Champagne rhinestones. These are all pretty. They all work well. And I think I'm going to do just the little guys. And I'll do 3 on each butterfly tummy. So all of these cards in this butterfly style using 1/4 of a card front from Paper Pumpkin, but you could use anything. I'm going to put pictures of all of them on my blog. Probably won't do the inside so much because I'm just going to copy one thing and do it over and over because I kind of ran out of steam on coming up with new stuff. I'm exhausted. I'm creatively exhausted. But I'll put them on my blog, and then I'll put a list of all these extra products, like all of this stuff, and this stuff, and this stuff. I'll put it all on my blog. So you will know if you want to do any of this, what to pull out from your closet or what to add to your cart. Yeah. Okay, so this one I think is my favorite card out of all of those. It's a little bit calmer, not quite so crazy, but isn't that pretty? Very simple. Yeah, bling. Really like that bling. Words are great. Inside, not much, but that's all it takes. And that turned out great. That's it for today. If you can, give me a thumbs up. I see all of your thumbs up, and I appreciate them. And until next time, I'm going to do probably, this is crazy, 8 more Paper Pumpkin ideas using up that kit, because you know what I think about it. But that's okay. Look what it did. It's nice. Okay, have a great day, great week, and until next time, happy stamping. Bye.